Netflix has found themselves in the center of controversy after a clip from their upcoming holiday film. The family switch has gone viral courtesy of libs of TikTok. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. So let's get into this here. We are going to be talking about this film over on Netflix called The Family Switch. The brief synopsis says a family descends into chaos days before Christmas when a rare cosmic event causes the parents to swap bodies with their teenage kids. The film stars Jennifer Garner, Ed Helms, and Emma Myers. It's directed by McG, famous for Terminator Salvation and Charlie's Angels. But the film is gone viral, not for the reason that they want it to. It has gone viral due to this clip from libs of TikTok here. Let's take a listen to this little 15-second clip. But before we listen, you can see the description here from libs of TikTok. Scene from Family Switch on Netflix that demonizes white people. Family is in a museum and an exhibit is broken. The worker explains some clumsy family came and knocked over the telescope, and you know they was white because black people don't create problems like this. They're injecting anti-white racism into movies. Anti-white racism is the only form of discrimination that's allowed and celebrated. And that isn't indeed what they have done. Let's listen to this here.
Oh, I'm sorry, but the exhibit's closed. Some clumsy family came in and knocked over the telescope last night. And you know they was white because black people don't create problems like this.
So there it is. Racism coming from The Family Switch. Netflix's latest holiday film. You can see that there. That worker is clearly demonizing white people there, saying that only a white family could have done that. Couldn't have been anyone else, and definitely could not have been black people. It's just utterly ridiculous. This is exactly what they do in Hollywood now. They try and inject this stuff so that it makes it think that it's normal, and white people are always guilty. They're always at fault, and they want you to internalize that and make you feel guilty and make you feel like you're always at fault and you are the person that is always oppressing people, or whatever term that they're using to make you be the bad guy. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is wrong, and we need to reject this stuff. We also need to understand that no, we are not always the oppressor. We are not always the bad guy. It is completely and utterly false. But this is what they are trying to do. You see things like this all across the sphere. And it's not just things like this. Even in Reacher, I like the first 2 episodes that I've seen in season 2, but it does include a scene of fornication, and they're trying to make that out to be something good when it is indeed not. So this is across the spectrum. They're putting all kinds of this stuff in all of their movies and television products to make us think that this stuff is normal and right when it is not. Instead, we need to be creating stories and I think backing stories and supporting stories and going to see stories that have true, good, solid messaging, where you see the heroes doing things that we want them to do, where they're making the moral and right choice. They're always doing the right thing. Maybe they make a mistake here and there, but they realize what their mistake is and they go about fixing it. Something like Home Alone is a perfect example. Obviously, Kevin McAllister makes an awful mistake when he wishes his parents and his family disappeared. He initially celebrates and thinks it's a great and wondrous thing. However, he quickly realizes that his life is very lonely without his family. He eventually goes to a church and asks for them to come back, clearly repentant, and he has to fight off the bandits, obviously, in the course of that, and then he's rewarded with his family coming back home. So obviously you can have a story like that where the character has some growth and grows over the course of a story, but at the end of the day, the moral is really good. So you don't always have to have someone always making the right decision over and over again. But I think maybe we could have some characters like that, because it doesn't seem like we have any characters like that anymore, where they're always making the right and just decision. We need those Superman-like characters. We don't really see a lot of them anymore. Instead, we're getting lectures like this in Netflix specials. And shame on Jennifer Garner, shame on McG, and shame for everyone attached to this film to go along with this stuff. These people know what they're doing, and they should be ashamed of themselves, and they should be put on blast. It's not just Netflix. It's all of these people that are involved in this. It's their agents as well. It's time to start naming names and putting these people on blast for being associated with this stuff. They should be boycotted, and we should blackball them out of the industry, because this stuff is unacceptable. It is indeed racism, and it is wrong. If you want to read the comments here on Libs of TikTok, I mean, you can see people are just absolutely blasting it, playing into memes here, pointing to all the riots that took place back in 2020. People pointing out that like the crime statistics and all these things like that. Obviously, making fun of Netflix, how they're always race swapping characters and things like that. You can look at Cleopatra. So just absolutely getting obliterated in the comments here, Libs of TikTok. And the film is getting obliterated on IMDb too. 5.6 out of 10. A lot of middling reviews here. Here's just a couple. Diving into today's movies where storytelling falls short, diversity feels forced, and cinematic magic fades. 3 out of 10. White Christmas in Los Angeles, 5 out of 10. Jen does another 5 out of 10. Worst movie I've seen in ages, 1 out of 10. So even people that might not have keyed in on this think this movie is crap. And it probably is, because when you have this stuff inserted into it, it's going to be all over the film. It affects the story, it affects the direction. You really can't create anything good when you are pushing this type of evil and your mind is warped by this stuff. But as I said, let me know what you guys make of this. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Remember to always be charitable, but to always speak the truth.